Hello trainers and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Once again, if this is your first time meeting me, my name is Drake Usan. I am a caster and an analyst for Pokemon Unite, and welcome to the first episode of my YouTube video series called DraftMaster, where I take you on my journey of walking through the solo queue ranked environment in Pokemon Unite. If you want to learn a little bit about what DraftMaster is and how to go through the draft process, take a look at the first video I call episode 0. You can see the first video of this series in the link down below. For the first few episodes of DraftMaster, I wanted to feature characters that are at the top of their respective roles. Characters that at any part of the draft selection process, they are a very strong pick for your team. And what a better way to demonstrate some of the top picks is to pick the best character, in my opinion, that is currently in the game. And that character is not an EX Pokemon, it is Buzzwole. For the next few minutes, I am going to be reviewing why Buzzwole is one of the best characters in the game and one of the strongest characters to select in the draft selection process. But if you wanted to skip forward to the gameplay, go ahead and click on the timestamp down in the description below. Buzzwole is an incredibly strong pick in Pokemon Unite, so strong that even in the March qualifiers and regionals for North America and Europe, the statistics show that Buzzwole was banned so frequently it didn't even show up as a statistic in terms of its win rate and pick percentage. To review the basics as to why Buzzwole is one of the best characters in the game, let's go and head on over to UniteDB to review some of the things about Buzzwole. And so first off, if you have not used this website, I do highly recommend it to maybe read up on some of the characters, learn about their abilities, what they do. You might learn something new just by scrolling through the page. Our point number 1, Buzzwole has a really strong laning phase. This is typically the phase earlier on in the game where you and your ally are restricted to either the top path, the bottom path, or the central area Pokemon or the jungler. Buzzwole is typically played in the top path in competitive Pokemon Unite, but of course, because we're mostly talking about solo queue or the general environment, it can be played in the top or bottom path, and even sometimes in the jungle to make sure you get to your level 5 power spike relatively quickly. But in most cases, it's played in the top path, so we're going to be talking about it then. Buzzwole has a dominating presence at all stages of the game. Starting out with the laning phase, or the earlier stages of the game, Buzzwole has one of the best early game securing abilities in the game, in the form of Fell Stinger. And of course, if you're able to secure more wild Pokemon away from your enemy Pokemon, you can get to your primary abilities faster than them. Alright, once you hit level 5, you get access to one of the most devastating primary abilities in the all-arounder class, and that is Superpower. Of course, Superpower scales at level 5 and upgrades to Superpower Plus at level 11, and it works really well in tandem with Smackdown. So these are two abilities that are normally paired together. You get access to Smackdown at level 7, your Unite move at level 9, just like most Pokemon. But again, once you hit that level 11, this is a very crucial benchmark level for this character to do some really cool combos in the game. Now, point number 2, and this will be my last point before we move on to the gameplay, is that Buzzwole doesn't have many natural counters. There's one Pokemon that I think counters Buzzwole rather effectively. It's going to be Clefable, because Gravity Clefable stops any instance of dashing type abilities, and all of Buzzwole's primary abilities are considered dashing type abilities. So if you are able to catch a Buzzwole in a Gravity Clefable, then maybe you can outdamage a Buzzwole in a game of endurance. But of course, as you'll see in the gameplay, Buzzwole has a lot of tools of recovery, building shields. It does a ton of damage if you're able to get your stacks with your attack weight, which is, again, one of the held items that's most frequently played with Buzzwole. It often takes a village to take down this massive bug. Alright, let's go ahead into the gameplay. Buzzwole ranked in draft. Unfortunately, this game was played off stream, so you won't have a Dracu in the bottom left corner as you normally will find me in these episodes. But just to talk a little bit about this draft, Buzzwole was not banned by the second pick team. Very frequently, the second pick team should ban Buzzwole so that the first pick team, that is my team up here, doesn't pick up Buzzwole first. And like I said before, I believe the best characters in the game should be selected first, and in this gameplay, I'm going to demonstrate why you should always ban Buzzwole if you are not first pick, And if it's not banned and you are first picked, you should always pick this up first. So let's go ahead and head on into the gameplay. This is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be more of a VOD review type gameplay for this episode. So again, like I was saying before, Buzzwole has one of the best laning phases in the game, especially with Mega Punch and Fell Stinger having really good last hitting potential. I'm of course laning with a friend of the stream. Their name is Ulele. The Squirtle. You can see in the top left corner, you can see full vision of everyone on the map, so might be a little bit more advantageous to talk about micro and macro with this vision of the stream. So let me know if you do like this perspective a little bit more than just the gameplay itself. So earlier on the game, you do want to try to get some stacks. Unfortunately, I get a little bit too greedy here. Was hopefully able to use my eject button to get out of the right side of the map, but unfortunately I do pay for it. So not the best early game for me here, but we're going to head down into the lane, and I think the enemy team is also overstaying their welcome as well, able to get a Fell Stinger off on this Jigglypuff, and really nice good play by Megan. Am I able to get a Mega Punch here? No. So good play by the Jigglypuff to use their defense curl against the wall to get a little bit more mobility back to the right side of the map. So once I get level 5, again, one of the more devastating abilities in the game, I'm able to displace the Jigglypuff away from their goal pad, and once again pulling this Dratini off of their pad as well, so they don't get access to the healing that the pad provides. And now that I've wiped the enemy team, I'm able to get those attack weight stacks really early on in the game as well. And so you're able to take away the Dratini and the Wigglytuff, take all of their farm. Looks like I don't greed for an additional stack here, and I might be forced to use an eject button, procs the passive ability on the Glaceon. I think at this point I wasn't anticipating for the Glaceon to be in this bottom path because they were originally a top path Pokemon, but as you can see in the top path, it's not going so well for them. Now I have access to Smackdown at level 7. And start to see starting to build the combo chain between Superpower and Smackdown. I think I was trying to use an eject button there, but unfortunately I hugged the air. Gets a KO anyway on the Dragonair. Megan Queen, of course, is going to be caught out on the left side of the map, and we're going to find a Glaceon here. Unfortunately, I missed that Smackdown. Glaceon is heading back over to the right side of the map, and already before the first objectives in the game, I'm already at level 8. So after the Swablu and Altaria spawn on the map, I should have my Unite move pretty early on in this game. Alright, right about here, I'm charging my Beast Boost gauge as I'm anticipating for a fight. Get a KO on the Dragonair once again. The combo chain is starting. This Zacian is going to get KO'd by the Unite move from Buzzwole. Again, it's targeting the lowest damage character that's currently in my field of vision. My team breaks that tier 1, getting an additional stack if I'm not already fully at 6 stacks at this point in the game. But as you can see here, this Dragonair is not having a good time. It's only at level 6. Don't want to greed for an additional stack because I remember what happened before. I'm at level 10, so I almost have access to the full combo chain that Buzzwole has available to themselves. One thing that I did not notice about halfway through the game is that there's a Comfey on the field. It is a Sweet Kiss Comfey, of course, but as you'll see in the latter half of the game, this Comfey finds a host, and it's definitely not this Mewtwo that you see the Comfey on currently. See here, we're just holding on this lane, continuing to apply pressure, and the enemy team is not doing the best job at going at other parts of the map. They continuously int, the term you might hear mobile players use, or intentionally KO themselves. Not intentionally, but more of a rather term of endearment, you would say, when the enemy team, or sometimes your ally team members, int their own life or get KO'd by themselves. Alright, I'm already at level 11 here. You can see this Absol walking into this bush. This is going to be an easy KO as it was less than 10. So I have that superpower, Smackdown superpower combo chain now because my Smackdown was on cooldown there after using it on the Absol. Just go straight into the Smackdown, into Superpower to get the KO. Try to go for this break here. They do not have Jump Pad available to them because it's not below the 5-minute mark, and pretty early break. And Comfey, as you'll see here, has found its home. Eject button through the wall into a Superpower Smackdown. Unfortunately, I missed that Smackdown, so I kind of forced myself to use that Unite move because I had it available to them, and this Dragonite is going to go for a ride. One thing that the enemy team that continuously did, as you can see here, they're walking directly into a Buzzwole. This happens, obviously, if you have players that are not as knowledgeable in the characters that they're playing against, but a Glaceon, as squishy as they are, should definitely not be walking directly towards a Buzzwole that is 2 levels higher than them. One thing to constantly pay attention to is that in times where I'm not actively engaging in the enemy team, I'm prepping that engagement by building up that gauge below my health bar. That is the Beast Boost gauge. And so your primary damaging ability, that is a Superpower, as you can see right there, it expends all of the Beast Boost bar that's below your health bar. The higher the bar, the more damage that it does. The reason why I'm able to do Superpower into Smackdown into Superpower once I hit level 11 is because once I hit level 11, I will get another Superpower anytime that Beast Boost gauge fills to full. So once you see here, Smackdown increases that Beast Boost gauge almost to full, giving me another Superpower. So, if you do plan on playing Buzzwole, do be sure to practice that combo of Superpower to Smackdown to Superpower, and make sure you have that combo into finger memory, basically. Finger muscle memory. Level 14 going into the 3-minute mark, so I've still got a quarter time left in the game. I don't even require this Comfey to play the standard healing ability of Floral Healing because I get enough healing and shielding off of this ability. Once again, Superpower gives you some passive shields anytime you're able to hit the enemy Pokemon with it. And you get even more shields the higher your Beast Boost gauge is as well. As you can see here, this is almost a 400-point lead between my team and the enemy team. You can see on the bottom, I just ticked into level 15. I believe their jungler was the Absol, if I'm not mistaken. So the Absol being 2 levels under me as a speedster, definitely not what you want to be as a carry Pokemon, particularly a speedster looking at something like a Buzzwole, who now has found, or Comfey has found home on the Buzzwole's waist. 2 minutes left in the game. I don't know how many KOs I have at this point, but I'm sure I have at least 10 to maybe 15 KOs at this point. As you can see here, Superpower into Smackdown. Beast Boost gauge goes to full into another Superpower. KOs the Zacian immediately. 2 levels underneath with a fully stacked attack weight, which is 6. This Wigglytuff is going to walk into this bush once again. Get that Superpower into Smackdown into Superpower. Wigglytuff actually does a really good job there at cleansing the crowd control with its Unite move. Forced to use my Unite move here because I'm on cooldowns with my ability. It might be a little premature to use my Unite move on a Wigglytuff, but nonetheless. Absol actually does a really good job here. It uses the invincibility frames from the Unite move to escape one of my abilities. And here I actually almost do go down. You can see me building up that shield with the Superpower to stay alive with 1 HP and a dream. And so with 1 minute left, over 500-point lead, reset back to Central. Buzzwole becomes an un-KOable machine. You're able to get to level 15, especially with a Comfey attached to you. Once again, outside of combat, I'm building up that Beast Boost gauge. Prior to engaging the enemy team, we're going to engage with Superpower if we're able to, go into a Smackdown, into another Superpower. Another Superpower would have gone there if the enemy was still alive at that point. Yeah, so just one thing to know, if you are ever facing a Buzzwole, like I was saying before, it sometimes takes a village to defeat a Buzzwole that is fully stacked has everything going for them in terms of levels, the shielding you get from the abilities. You gotta fight the Buzzwole together in order to KO something as destructive as, again, one of the best characters in the game. And at least with this game I demonstrated here, always ban a Buzzwole first if you are not the first pick team. If you are the first pick team and neither your team or the enemy team does not ban Buzzwole, this is a very solid first pick to round out your team, or I guess to start your team if it's your first pick. Go ahead and take a look at the damage numbers here. 118,000 damage off of a team that has no defenders, mind you. I think what's one thing you have to pay attention to is that whenever a team has no defenders, I guess you can consider Wigglytuff kind of a pseudo defender here, but when a team has no defenders and you're able to still do over 100,000 damage, it's a pretty big landslide of a victory for yourself. You can see, I think, earlier part in here, 21 KOs with the Buzzwole and a Comfey attached to it. 21 KOs with the Buzzwole, 22 assists for the Comfey. Alright, I did hope you enjoyed that first pick of Buzzwole draft and rank gameplay. At the end of every DraftMaster video, I do want to review something in the game that I thought went really well or didn't go so well. Maybe review micro, macro, things of that nature. And to piggyback one of my points that I mentioned before about Buzzwole, like I was saying, very dominant at every stage in the game. But if there is a stage in the game that I think is best to limit the Buzzwole so that it doesn't get going early, well, what better way to stop it from snowballing throughout the rest of the game is by stopping it at the earlier stages in the game. So I wanted to review some of this gameplay that I recorded a little while ago. I was duo queuing with another content creator named Tinkatan, her name is Tess, and I'm playing this Phantom here. I'm going up against a Buzzwole, and one of the best early game secures, like I was saying before, is Buzzwole's Fell Stinger. But Buzzwole's Fell Stinger does have a weakness, is that it can only target one thing at a time, whether it's me as their enemy Pokemon or a wild Pokemon, but it doesn't do area of effect damage. That means it can't attack both of us. So very commonly, in order to stop a Buzzwole from last hitting you, is that you have to take the needle yourself. You got to take the Fell Stinger yourself. Of course, you can't do this with every Pokemon because, like I was saying before, Fell Stinger is a very damaging ability. But if you're able to tank or to take a Fell Stinger and use your abilities to last hit, then you can take a farm away from a Buzzwole that's trying to last hit the farm away from you. So I'm going to go ahead and slow this speed down to really slow. What you should do as a player going against the Buzzwole is you want to stand as close as you can to a wild Pokemon so that the Fell Stinger is forced to target you instead of the wild Pokemon. So you can see they're using their auto attacks here. They've already used their Mega Punch. Here comes the Fell Stinger. You'll notice that this red bar here, that is the damage that was done by the Fell Stinger. It's not going into the wild farm. You can see the HP bar hidden behind Buzzwole's HP bar. I hold on to my Will-O-Wisp and use it to last hit the piece of farm. And you'll see it once again right here, following the Buzzwole over to this bunny. They use their Mega Punch. They go for a stack. I start to work on this Bunnelby myself. Again, standing closely to the Bunnelby. They're using their autos. Here comes the Fell Stinger. I'm going to pause it really quickly just so that you can orient yourself. Here comes the Fell Stinger. Again, the HP goes into me, the Phantom. If I'm able to tank that, I'm holding on to this Will-O-Wisp, saving that for my last hit, and then last hitting it away from the Buzzwole. And final thoughts. Buzzwole, ban it first or pick it first? It's one of the best characters in the game. And with that, that is going to bring us to the end of the first episode of the DraftMaster series. Of course, in the comments down below, who is your best first pick Pokemon in draft? I would love to hear it. This is also the part of the video where I tell you to follow me on all the things. I stream live on Twitch, I talk a lot on Twitter, and of course I release these videos on YouTube. So be sure to like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel to know when the next video of DraftMaster is out. And as always, I will see you on the next one.